Clearly very bad news for all Nigerians this morning. President YarAdua, of course, died last night, a very tragic event. Tell me about what is happening on the ground and how markets have responded to this. I mean, clearly we're not going to be seeing any trade on the bourse today.
Yes, no trade on the bourse today. I think there's still a little bit of I wouldn't use the word confusion, but there's just a little bit of calm in the market. I think markets are generally trying to interpret and react to the information. What we expect will happen is a lot more clarity now in terms of the direction for the country over the next 14 months. I think that is going to be positive for the markets. So I expect that once the burial rights are over, the Nigerian economic market itself would react positively to the renewed clarity in the market. But the mood is actually quite somber. Lots of businesses are closed. I think the news on the public holiday have started to filter in a bit late. So some businesses are still open. But I think that as the day goes on, we'll see people react more to the news of the president's death.
Well, Femi, we know that President YarAdua had been absent from office for some time because of a tragic illness as well. But apart from that, as you mentioned, there is going to be some kind of clarity given to the markets at this stage of the game. Just given what we've been seeing over the last while in terms of reforms and the bill changes that have been proposed, what do you think is going to happen on that front?
I think the acting president, who, as we speak, has currently been sworn in as president of the Republic of Nigeria, has made it very clear what the plans are till the end of the year. I think he's reduced the 7-point agenda to 2 clear points, which is what Nigerians are actually quite excited about. Let's fix the power problem. Let's make sure that our elections are credible and people's votes count. And the reality is that if they're able to achieve this over the next 14 months, the legacy that the YarAdua government has bestowed on Nigeria would be remarkable indeed. The bills that are currently going through the rounds in the House and the Senate would get a lot of fillip from the renewed I'd say from the renewed powers that the president is able to assume, and I expect that the bills like the petroleum industry bill, the other laws, including the constitutional reviews that are currently winding down in the Senate and the House of Rep, those things will go through the process much quicker and faster, simply because there's a lot more clarity in terms of where power lies in the system. I think politically we're going to see quite a lot of clearing of the air on whose ambitions should be taken seriously. And I think all of that would portend well for the economy in the medium term.
Femi, just looking at the next elections, because clearly, as you mentioned, there is going to be quite a bit of clarity ahead of those elections. But what do you think is going to play out there? Do you think that it's going to be an interesting election purely because we know that the National Electoral Commission was suspended not too long ago? Do you think that was a move that was widely accepted by the markets and perhaps welcomed by foreign investors in particular?
Look, I mean, I think there will be probably, if you take a poll in Nigeria today, maybe there's probably 5% of Nigerians who were not happy and excited about the removal of the INEC chairman. What we expect will happen in the remaining parties, Nigerians are going to be quite interested in who becomes the chairman of the electoral body. Also, I think the dynamics along the political parties would be something that investors should be looking out for. The People Democratic Party, which is the ruling party, needs to pick a candidate. We suspect that they will still continue to work around the zoning formula that has been agreed in the party. So that means that the dynamics might be quite interesting, especially if the president chooses to run or not. The key issue for us is that these are interesting times in Nigeria. I think the Nigerian populace is becoming more interested in how elections are being held and the outcome of those elections. And that's something that will play a significant role in the reactions that people give to the selection of a new INEC chairman. However, the key issue for us is Nigerians want to have free and fair elections. Nigerians want their votes to count. And if that happens, then we'll see significant economic activity as the reward for those free and fair elections.
Femi, you alluded to the controversial oil bill that has been proposed. We know that there's been quite a lot of financial reforms as well. Apart from that, we also know that the central bank governor has been criticized for having too much of a hand to play in terms of financial reform as well. And unfortunately, it is something that needed to be done in Nigeria to see those changes occurring. What kind of reforms are you expecting now going forward from here under the new president? Good luck, Jonathan.
Look, one thing is clear, and what we are all hoping, especially from an analyst's point of view, is that the central bank gets the support that it requires to continue to drive through the reforms that is required to ensure that the Nigerian financial space is up to world standards and is able to, is resilient enough to go through difficult times. I think it would be unfair for anyone to discount the fact that the Nigerian financial sector was facing significant challenges and was heading for an ominous crash before the intervention by the central bank. My suspicions are that the president will continue to support the central bank. However, we'll try to do that from a more holistic point of view and ensure that the economic team driven by the Minister of Finance plays a significant role in how the economy is being run. In addition to that, I think the petroleum industry bill is something that is required. The international majors have continued to dominate this market in the last 40 years, and it's only right that Nigerians are given a significant role to play in this sector of the economy. So for me, it's all positives now for Nigeria. I think that the new powers that the president has gives him an opportunity over the next 14 months to leave a strong legacy for the Nigerian economy. And we believe that with what he's shown in the last 3 months, he will meet Nigerian expectations.